Hello, my wonderful friends. I'm back again today for the second part of our page in the Witches Cottage by Hanna Karlzon. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And this is where we stopped yesterday. So stay tuned and we'll get this finished. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that we had colored this with Neocolor 2s, and now I'm just coming back in because the video ran a little too long, and I would like to go back in with the Neocolors again and just add some more shadows and things, and just generally add more color to it. And after that, we'll decide if we're going to use pencils or not, and I know there's a lot of stuff on here that I would like very much to do with gold paint and such, and glitter, things like that. So today we're starting with the aubergine as soon as I locate it, because I'm going to start top to bottom and go right to left because I am left-handed. So I have the aubergine crayon, and now I'm just taking pigment from the crayon itself and adding it to the page that way. And I'm really hoping I'm visible. Because sometimes I have a lot of trouble with that. But yeah, I'm just getting into these little creases and things and putting the color in. And I'm coming in there to push the color back a little bit because it went a little too far for me. So I hope everyone's doing well today. Everything seems to be going good on my end, so that's a happy thing. And I'm just generally having a very good day. In the interest of transparency, I'm filming this the same day that I filmed the first part because I got really involved in this picture and didn't want to quit. So I just quickly edited the first part, which I do try to do once I hit an hour of filming. I will try to edit that part to see what we've got as far as footage is concerned, so that, you know, I'm not monopolizing all your YouTube time. I know some of you like longer videos, but for me, it feels like if I go over a half hour, 45-minute mark, I just feel like I have to stop and let you go watch someone else, because there's so many great channels out there to support, and I don't want to have to make you decide between watching a really long video from me or watching other people. So I try to make it easy. All right, we're getting some nice shade in there. I'm trying, honestly, I'll let you know, I'm trying not to use pencils at all, except maybe for her skin, because I don't know if I can do her skin with the Neocolors. I know it's a possible thing. I know other people can. I don't know if I can. And I don't know, since I really like the colors on this so far, if I want to figure out if that's a thing I can do today on this page. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe when I get there, I'll get braver, you know, once I get to the skin and decide to do that. But for right now, I'm going to say not doing a skin with the Neocolors. But we'll see. So we've been having some gorgeous fall weather lately. I was talking to my friend Jackie the other day, and she had asked me if we had like nice color changes on our leaves yet. And I sent her a really quick picture out my studio window. So if I remember or have the time to do that, I will take another picture, because hers was really quick. I did it through the screen in the window, so it was blurry, you know, and had that grid image on it. But I'll try to get a nice picture so you can see the lovely leaves I get to see from my studio, because I've been really enjoying that view lately. And this part is pretty tedious, but necessary. So I think what I'm gonna do is finish up this little bit. So you can see I'm just filling in all the shadowy areas with a darker color. And it's just adding a little to the hat. I hope it's, let me just shade this out and then I'll look at the monitor. I hope it's visible to you that we're getting a little bit of a color change. It should be. It looks like it on the monitor. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up, and I'll come back once I have our hat all shaded so we can keep the time of the video low. All my shading is done on the hat, and now I'm just going back in with the mauve and a little bit of white to finish up the streakiness that's going through the bottom brim of the hat. The top of the hat's done. I just want to clear like specifically right here, and I'm going to use white around the outside edges to draw out some of the color. So I'm very happy with how the hat turned out, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the patches on the hat. I started those with raw sienna, and I'm going to go in with some shading with the burnt sienna and see how that goes. So yeah, like I'm just going to go into the parts that I think would be darker and add a little bit, and then kind of try to blend these two together, because I'm not looking to, you know, redo the whole deal, just get some darkness in there. All right, so that's where I'm going to place it, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the raw sienna so that I have enough crayon down to get the colors moving. Because there also are some little light patches, specifically like here and along here, that I want to clean up. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to not pause, oh my goodness. I'm gonna speed this bit up. If you see me adding any more crayon, it will either be the burnt or the raw sienna. Very happy with how that turned out. Now I'm going to go into the leaves that we had made in the hat. Like I said, I'm trying to work my way down the page. And for the leaves, we used moss green, crimson alizarin, and flame red. And I'm going to drag in a little bit of this olive brown too, because I just don't feel like we've got enough darkness in them. So I'm going to pull that through the bottoms of these leaves. Definitely around the edges. There we go. And then we'll put the moss on top of that. I just feel like everything's a little faded compared to what I would like it to be. I mean, my tones are definitely muted. I just don't want them to be almost pastel, which is what they kind of feel like right now. And then we're going to clean up this red bit. And I'm going to add a touch of red underneath the ones where the leaves turn over. So that would be these three. And then I'm going to take the orange and just pull that down as well into the other, well, it's flame red, but it appears orange to me. Just get that into some of the other areas. And while I am here, I'm going to take burnt sienna and go over these stems that are holding the stars so that they will be a little bit darker. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wet these down and speed it up. The original hair that we've done is done with golden ochre, number 33, and that is going to be our lightest color. And I said I wanted to go like a reddish brown, so I need to get something dark in the brown family. I think we're going to use the burnt sienna that we used on the leaves. And then we're going to use something reddish, more reddish than the burnt sienna. Let's see. So I'm looking at this burnt sienna and then something red. So I think I'm going to go with this. Ooh, that's kind of hard. I'm going to go with this English red. No, am I? It's between English red and russet. And I think I'm just going to go russet. So those are the three colors we're going to use. The russet, the burnt sienna, and the golden ochre. I'm going to stay on camera and not speed it up while I lay down the colors. And then I'll speed up when I get to that part. So I'm just going to go in under the hat and add a little bit of the burnt sienna all along that, because I feel like that's where the shadow would be. So nothing too complicated on my end. So she's got that under there. I'm going to get a little bit of her eyebrow, and then I'm going to do some of these ends, and I think all over here because of those pearls. I'm going to come in behind the pearls with the brown. I want to get like the little bits that come under other bits of hair. Like that. And that one's already done. And there's another pearl to get behind. There's another pearl. And then these are behind another piece of hair. And we've got all of that. And just a little bit coming up from there. Oh, this piece down here. Okay, so there's my my burnt ochre. And then I'm coming in on top of it with the russet to get a little more color. And hopefully we'll be able to achieve something that looks like it's a little reddish. I'm not looking for, you know, pure red hair. I'm looking for brown with a reddish tint to it. So hopefully I'll be able to achieve something like that. I have so much more control with colored pencils. So trying to do any of these types of things with a water medium is a stretch for me, and one that I'm happy to try out because I think sometimes I don't try a lot of new things. So I like to do that. And worst case scenario, it's going to be one shade of brown, and that's also okay. Next, I'm coming in with that golden ochre and just getting some more lay down so that I have somewhere to move the other two colors into. And I want to get a little more of the russet up under this hat. Like that. Okay, so if you see me add anything, it's going to be one of those three colors. I'm going to speed up this part and be back. I definitely feel like if I had used pencils, I would have a little more control, but I do have enough shade and highlight to her hair where I don't feel bad about it. I did leave off a little bit of cleaning up her dress, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now while we're talking. I think the next part of this page is going to be the green background. Notice I'm putting off that face as long as humanly possible. For whatever reason. And I say that for whatever reason. We know what reason it is. I will do her lips though. And I don't want them to have a lot of color. I just want them to be not skin toned. So I'm going to go in with the salmon pink on those. So that's number 71 in the salmon pink. And they appear to just be like right there. Hopefully. I'm not wrong in that. They look awful tiny, but you know, I didn't draw them. I'm just coloring them in. And that just gives them a little bit of color that isn't her skin color. She has that eye there that we're avoiding as well. And I think I'm going to do that with the moss green. And I'm just going to do that by wetting the brush on the crayon and coloring in her eye. Because it's so tiny and it's, you know, a profile view. So there's no sense in me going crazy with the colors. And now I can see that this is drying and there's a little line here that I don't want. Let's get a little more. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, we're going to avoid the skin for now. I'm going to come back in and do more to these two leaf sets here. And what am I going to do to them? I don't even know. Okay, I'm just going to pull the olive brown and the other leaf colors that we used up here, back into it, and get that all done up. So I will pause, or no, I'll talk to us for a little while and put the colors down. And after I've got the color down, I will go off camera, or not off camera, oh my goodness. Today is a hard work day for me. I will go and speed this up while I color it all in with the water brush. Just want to really brighten up the orange in these. Again, it's not orange, it's flame red, but I keep calling it orange because as I'm laying it down, it just appears very, very orangey. So there's a little bit of that. The next was the alizarin carmine. And I'm going to put that just under it in a line. but we don't want a lot of it. You know, just a little bit to play with. And the same on this side. And I hope you don't mind these hybrid, you know, coloring videos where I talk for some and put on music for the rest. I am a slow colorist, and I'm worried that, well, one, you'll lose interest and not want to do the page or not want to see how it finishes because, you know, it takes me forever. Or two, will just take up all your time, and that's not going to work either. And I don't have a lot to really talk about. So I just want to get color on the page and, you know, go take care of that after the fact. Because the water brush part just takes too long for no reason other than it does. Throwing a little bit of this hair color that we used for her, the light one, I think it was golden ochre, onto the green to change the color a little bit. And then I'm going to take our olive brown and add that into the bottom here. So I just want this to be very fall-like in the colors. And I don't feel like the moss green did what I wanted it to. It faded really fast, and it wasn't really a good blending color, which in the first video I did mention probably wouldn't be the greatest idea I ever had. And it really wasn't. And that's okay. That's how we learn new things. So I've got enough color down, I think. I'm going to go ahead and speed us up and get the water down on these two sets of leaves. Okay, so all our leaves are completed, and again, still avoiding this face. We're going to go down here into the clouds and into the sun. I am going to use the flame red to go into the rays of the sun and the sun's face, just to add a little dimension because it's very flat right now. So we'll take these one at a time. And I know this is a part I could probably speed up, but I thought I'd take a few moments just to like hang out and talk again. My computer's making noises at us. But yeah, well, I'm almost done making the videos for the month. So I know this is towards the end. This picture is towards the end. So let me know in the comments what you think about having the daily videos, if it's overwhelming, if it's just too much, or the content's not rich enough to support having everyday content. Because I've been really enjoying the coloring on camera. I don't think I've got it down, you know, perfectly yet, as in I do this hybrid thing most of the time where I talk and then speed through the bits of it that, you know, you kind of get the gist of. But I am curious as to whether or not everybody's been into that type of content or not, because like I stated at the beginning of the month, I do want to add more coloring content into my videos, because there isn't a lot of it, or there wasn't a lot of it prior to this month. So yeah, let me know what you think of it. And I am open to suggestions by book. media that you want to see, you know, like I know I've done quite a few water videos this month because I was trying to pull out stuff I don't normally use. And I don't know if I can do like a full video of me using pencils on the channel because, like I said, painstakingly slow. So I don't know if anybody, you know, it'd be like 6 parts probably. But I could certainly show how I color like very specific things on a page. That's definitely an option as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments because the content, while I want to do stuff that I enjoy doing, it's also here for you. So if you have specific things you want or want to see, that makes it just all the more easier for me to create that content because I know at least one person is interested in whatever it is that I'm doing. So yeah, just leave me a little note. I do respond to all my comments. Sometimes it just takes me, you know, a day or two, but I do try to keep myself under 24 hours. You know, between getting a comment and answering it, I try to take a few minutes throughout the course of the day to go in and reply to anything anybody said because I want you to know that I enjoy getting them and I enjoy hearing from you and hearing what you think and what you'd like to see. And especially lately, I've asked specifically for tips and tricks for alcohol markers, and quite a few of you have come through and gave me information as to what works for you, which has been enormous because, you know, I can flat color with a marker, no problem. I think anybody probably can. But I don't know what to do after that. And I know there's more to markers than that. And I was asked if I wanted to start collecting Copics since I haven't yet. And, you know, if I wanted to put them on my Christmas list. And as of right this second, no. I am not anywhere near a point where I want to spend that kind of money or even have somebody else spend that kind of money on me until I figure out how to use them. I think Sarah from Chronic Coloring Down Under has like a book on how to use your Copics or how to blend or something. I'm going to have to hit her up and find out if I'm right or not. Because if she has one, I want to find out what it is. And I mean, obviously it's for Copics. It says Copics, but you know, I can try it with regular ones, my Ohuhus or whatever. And if it does work, then that'll be awesome. Okay, I just darkened up the sun and the rays with the flame red, and I darkened up the moon. I used the regular color we had originally, pale yellow, and then I put the golden yellow that's on the sun across the outside of the moon just to lighten it up a bit. And I did just notice in this background, moss green was the color we used for the darkest parts of the background. I said these were open, and I went over her neck into that part, and it really should be green because her neck does not, well, unless she has like a goiter, her neck does not bend out that way. So I fixed that. And I think it's time for a did I bleed through check. Oops, stuck to a cord, sorry. And no, this is the second layer of water and no bleed through at this time. All right. So I like to keep you guys posted to that because when I watch videos of people using a lot of water mediums, that's the first thing I'm always like, but is it bleeding through? Like, show me. I need to see. And to darken up our background, I'm going to grab that olive brown that I've been adding to everything and take it straight from the crayon onto the brush. And just come in through here and do dabbies. I need a little more pigment to do what I want. There we go. And then I've got to carefully, it doesn't have to be too careful because I think I'm doing the lines either silver or black, the ones connecting the pearls to the page. And then on the pearls themselves, I might add a light blue to them just to have them, maybe a light purple, I don't know. Something on the lighter end. And then I'm going to go over them with iridescent medium. That was 100%. Or I have a pearl paint. Either way, one of those two things are going to be added to those pearls. So they're not going to need a lot of color because the stuff I'm going to use is see-through, but not that see-through. So, all right, and we're just getting this brown everywhere just to darken the background up a little bit. We don't want it dark, dark. And I just want it to be a little more mottled looking. And I'm really hoping that's not where I'm going to bleed through. But like I said, if I do, it's a witch on the other side. I can just kind of mimic these colors on that page as well. So I'm not worried about it. And if you take the pigment off the crayons themselves, you get a lot more control over where it goes. And sometimes with what I'm trying to do, I don't know that I want more control. I want it to kind of go wild, so I don't want to see these little dashes that I'm putting in. I just want to get them on and blend it out as quickly as possible. And I'm just blending them out by kind of pouncing my brush around on the page. I don't know the technical term. So for my channel, the technical term is going to be pouncing. It works. I'm just kind of lifting the brush up and pushing it back down really fast. I don't like, there's nothing in there. There we go. And I need a little more down here. And apparently pouncing and talking is not something I can do either. Okay. Something learned. I'm trying to avoid her skin, so I'm not getting it up against there, so I need to do that. All right, I really like how that's drying up, specifically up in there. So I'm going to come back over here and get a little more of it because I was being cautious on this side, and I don't need to be. This side should be even darker because it's behind everything. And I'm definitely bringing in the gold for the outside of the circle. And I might do silver for the stars. I just think that might be kind of cool. And we're going pearl for the dangly beads. All right, one more coat down here. Let's get some color though. Yeah, just like that forest witch vibe going on. All right. Again, this is one of those things. Once you start doing it, you could just be going forever because you're like, well, let me get that a little darker. And then, oh, now that's too late. And the next thing you know, you've spent 2 hours putting color down on something that was probably fine if you would have left it alone. I definitely am somebody who does a lot of that. But I just want to even out where it gets light. More water. Okay, so that has to dry before I do anything else to it, but I think it's pretty okay. Now we've got those clouds, and they're going to get an iridescent medium over them. White pen to cover up the lines. The stars and the dots are going to be gold and silver. But this is a very flat color right now, so I want to add in, what did we use? We used, oops, sorry. We used mauve, which is there. So if I go any darker, you know what? I think, I'm sorry, I'm sitting here thinking with my hand over my mouth, so if I got all muffled, that's because I did that. I think I'm going to take our Crimson Alizarin, which was used in here, and kind of, hopefully, really lightly add that around the edges of the clouds. This is that color. I definitely want the smaller paintbrush for this one because these areas are tinier. So let me see if I can get some color off of here. And again, could be disaster, could be super cute, who knows. That's a lot of color. Okay, if that ever happens where you go to like put some down and it's super a lot, you just hurry up and rinse off your brush so that you can go back in with water to lighten it up. But I really like the idea of this purplish red going through there. Because I like to do pink clouds a lot or purple clouds a lot. And for this picture specifically, because everything is so muted and earth toned for the fall except for her purple outfit, I don't want to go too crazy into like pure purple. So the red will help make it look a little more to match the palette that we are already started on. So I knew when we started the clouds with this purple, like I said when I did it, that's not the end. That's just the start of what we're gonna wind up doing. So see how I put too much down and now I'm just running it around and it'll thin out for me. There's nothing wrong with one little section where it's a little darker. They are clouds. We're not looking for some sort of uniformity so much as just pops of color where we need them. And when I go back in and wet my brush, which you can't see because it's off screen, I wipe it on my little towel that I keep under my water cup so that I'm not dragging too much water, because that's how we're not destroying the back of the book. I think all of this could handle quite a bit more water. I'm not going to test it. If I'm getting the result I want with less, there's no need for me to go overboard. All right, getting a little more in there. I'm kind of running it up through the rays of the sun and around. So if I darken up around the sun will be, or the sun and moon, that little emblem, it'll pop more because it's just randomly gold and yellow with all this red and purple. So it'll look really nice. Yeah, I like that so far. This is what I said, like, you could do a page so quick if you just don't diddle around with everything for hours. But I think if you've been here a while and you're watching one of my color alongs or color with me's, however you want to describe them, then you know I diddle along quite frequently because I'm never 100% sure what I want. And then when I get it, I'm like, but you could do it a little bit better, or you could add this or add that, and then it turns into another 45 minutes to an hour. But I am going to cut this video, and this part might get cut, the part where I'm telling you about cutting it, but I'm going to cut it as much as I can so that there's only this one and the first one. I do not want to make you have to watch 3 videos of me coloring this. When I first started my channel last year, I did quite a few color with me's, and they were long. I'm talking like upwards of like 5 half-hour videos. And of course, each video, well, I shouldn't say of course, maybe you don't know, each video from the first to the last lost more and more viewers, so I didn't feel like following along and getting a finished product was really accessible for some people because it lasted too long. So that's why I've been trying to work on ways to cut out all the extra stuff. Because the only other thing I could think to do is not really finish pages on camera, but color elements. Like say I was talking about leaves and then just color in the leaves on this page so you could see how they were done. But I don't, well, I'm only going by my own opinion. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like to see the bonus of all the page being completed. But again, that could just be me. So you've got the idea what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this off to speed coloring and get the rest of this cloud done. And then all that's left is her face. We've done it. We've avoided it as long as we can. So I'm going to get to her face and then we get to do all the fun stuff. Okay, so we got the clouds done. Now we have the skin left and everything that we're going to do in fun stuff. I'm liking how the background circle came out, so I'm going to leave that alone. And now it's just the skin. Nervous. So I am definitely going to do the skin with the Neocolor 2s. I've moved all the crayons that aren't skin tone related, the ones that we've been using, because I'm going to stay within this color scheme and just get her skin done with those colors. So what we have left as a dark tone is the burnt sienna, which we used as the darkest parts of her hair and in the dark parts of these patches. I have russet, which is very red. I'm probably not going to use that. Then I have raw sienna. We've got the golden ochre. The golden ochre was the bottom parts of her hair. The flesh that we originally put down. And I also have a white. Let's just dive in there. I don't know. I'm going to take my darkest color and try to get it as close to the edges of the lines as possible. All along the bits I feel like should have dark. I'm not worrying about this lace work on her dress because I'm using, I think, a Jelly Roll Glaze and gold and or silver paint pens in there. But I do want to get the dark in there. It's so weird. I'm trying to use these like they're pencils, and that's not at all what these are. So hopefully I don't destroy anything. That's all behind her ear, so I wanted to get all of that. And then just in between the tendrils of hair that we've been given, just a light layer. And I might have to come in and touch some stuff up, you know, with a paintbrush and going directly onto the pencil. But for right now, this looks pretty good. I'm going to get down here on her neck and up there, but I don't want her to look like she has a beard, so I need to be a little careful. I'm going to get a little bit at the bottom of her earlobe and behind this last tendril that's touching her face. I'm not one who builds out cheekbones. I don't really do that kind of stuff. And I'm definitely not messing with the shading around her nose because I could just make her look super muddy. So we're going to avoid all that. We just want to get a skin tone that doesn't just look like I left the flesh tone on her skin and walked away. So nothing too fancy, nothing that requires lots of effort. Again, because these are not my preferred skin tones for, or not skin tones, but medium to use for coloring faces. But I really want to see if I can achieve anything with it, you know. Getting a little bit more of the ear. So basically I'm following the lines I already put into play with the darkest color to get a little bit lighter color in there. And she would have, under her eye would be dark, or inside of her eyelid would be darker. And we're turning a corner here, so I'm going to add a little bit of dark in here, just right up under the nose with the second lightest, or second darkest, and under her lip, because there's always like a little shadow there. Now there are artists and people way better than me at this, so, you know, if you're looking for exactly how to lay this stuff down, don't look here. But if you're looking how to get something that could possibly be serviceable but doesn't require a ton of effort, then I might be the channel for you. I am now just going in with that golden ochre that is also at the bottom of her hair. So we want to be careful with that because we don't want her to blend into her hair. Also, I made her mildly a redhead. I feel like there would be shadow next to her eyeball there. And now I can start bringing that color under her eye. The bottom of her nose can have the yellow. And then just keep, I'm going to get her chin here. But keep pulling that from where I already added the dark color. So there's that. She looks a little train wrecky right now, but I'm sure we're going to get her ship shape in a minute, or at least serviceable. So now I'm going back with the flesh, which she originally has down on her as it is. And I'm coming in with that and meeting everywhere, maybe? Question mark. Definitely pulling it down through here. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I'm gonna do. So I am going to speed us up and attempt to give her a skin tone. Her lips are way, 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 way too pale. So we're going to pull back out that alizarin crimson and just touch them with that. Use our small brush and blend that in to give her more color. I just feel like that is too pale for what I'm looking for. I'm going to pull some off the crayon itself. Got to get the crayon wet, or the paintbrush wet, and get the color in there. And still yet a little bit more. Okay, that is more of a good lip color. And move on to the light blue that we need for the pearls. And I am using literally light blue. I am adding a touch of color to each of these so that when I go over them with the pearl medium, there's still some color underneath of them. So that is my only thought process here with these little gems. Everything else is going to be gold or silver or Jelly Roll Glaze in black, or I'm going to use the Iridescent watercolor medium for everything else. So that is that. And let's just get started on the fun stuff now. Okay, I brought my palette out. For the clouds, I am going to use Folk Art Metallic in Pearl White. So I just need a smidge of this. I think that'll do it, but we can always come back. Or that's not for the clouds, I'm sorry. That's for her little pearl earrings. I've got Mont Metallic Acrylic in gold. And that will be for some of the accents on the page. And I got a little for that. I also have Mont Metallic Silver. And we're going to need that for a few areas. I've got Winsor and Newton Iridescent Medium, which I'm going to take directly out of the bottle. And I have a black Jelly Roll Glaze pen. So let's figure this out. I'm going to try and work my way down the page, being as, again, I am left-handed. I want the outside of this circle to be gold. It butts up against these stars, so I'm going to make these stars silver. I'm going to use the Jelly Roll Glaze for the black for these lines. I'm going to use silver for the earring and gold for the post and the hangy bit. Black here, silver and gold in there. And we'll figure it out as we get to the rest of it. So we're going to start with silver. And I'm going to try and just hold the palette because I don't know how I want to do this. I do know we want to get a thick enough coat so that it doesn't look streaky or have lines in it, which I may or may not achieve. And again, it's fine. I just want some shiny bits, I think. So what I'm going to do then, because again, we're fighting a clock. I really hate to make this 3 videos. I was sad enough I had to make it 2. I'm going to speed all of this up and then come back and just let you know what got colored what. I might pop in another moment or two to do the iridescent or just to let you know I'm doing that. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and go to town on this and I'll be right back. So we've got the gold and silver down, and I think I'm just going to add gold to these freckles. I think that would be cute. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the white pearl metallic on these drops and start with the black jelly roll. I just wanted to stop back in and let you know what I'm doing, and I'm going to go ahead and get back into it. Okay, so all the metallics and the black jelly roll glaze is done. Now we're down to the Iridescent Medium by Winsor and Newton. Okay, and it seems like my finishing touches are becoming a bit much for one page, and that's okay. I'm allowed to do that. I'm just checking to see if that's sort of dry. I am going to go over the, actually, let me use this paper towel. I'm going to go over the pearls with a white jelly roll or a white Signo, because I didn't exactly color words. I didn't exactly cover the white or the black line. And I didn't necessarily need to, but now it's just some weird half black, half white type situation. So I'm making a judgment. So I could have just as easily went in with black. But I'm making a judgment just to color them in white. I like to think of these as like little opals, sort of. I think that's cool. All right, we're not doing too bad as far as getting color off the page. So then I'm going to do the same thing, and I will speed this part up, and I've definitely figured out what I'm doing with the background. So I'm just going to go over all the black lines in the clouds, and when I come back, we're going to hope we don't destroy anything while we work on this background. So I'll see you in a moment. And now, my background idea. Sorry, I'm going to giggle about it because it's not really so much a background as a minor idea, and I'm not even sure that it's a good one. So we still have this gold metallic paint in here, and I'm going to grab a pipette. I'm going to take a little water and water down this gold paint. All right, so that's done. All right, so that's what I think I wanted to do. Let me know in the comments down below if you think the splatter was a good idea or a bad idea. Yeah, look, if once it's dry, you can go into the parts that you splattered, like on her hat or whatever, because they're like little bumps, and you can just pick them off with your nails. And once everything's dry, you can kind of just blow them off of there. So that is, oh, she has a splatter on her face. There we go. So this is my witch that I did with Samway's Coloring on Instagram. Let me know, like I said in the comments, what you think about my splatter background. And until next time, friends, have a very colorful day. Bye.